All right, it looks like it says I'm going live. So I'm in the StreamYard for the first time. Are you seeing anything?
No, not yet. Oh, there you are.
Hello. So you're probably not going to hear my sound because you're muted, right?
Correct.
Okay.
We don't want an echo.
We do not want an echo. But hopefully the handful of...
Yeah, it's working.
I
for a second.
That was an echo. Hopefully if there's people watching that they can hear me. And if you can, definitely appreciate you jumping into the chat and mentioning it. All right, we've got Mary from Reclaim Treasures by Mary. How you doing? And we've got Laura Bimos. I saw you on everyone else's sale. Thank you for coming over and joining us over here at Trusty Huckster Mercantile. You missed some of my, Katie's here from Vintage and Vinyl. You missed some of my first two sales. I will have to admit did not go beautifully. Both times I ran into a problem with software. So I'm trying StreamYard for the first time. And I was going to try and be tricky like Fatbird Finds when they did theirs and do all the little nifty screens and graphics and everything. But at this point, I can only handle so many things at one time. So we're just going to try and do the actual live stream. And if it goes well and we have no sound issues, which sounds like so far we're doing good. Thank you, Katie. That I might try and add something for the next one. From what I understand, if anyone's used StreamYard, it's technically free, but of course, for anything that's free, you only get really limited options. And so you have to actually pay to do some of the niftier things. And I'm not going to say it's expensive because I'm not sure what you all get for it, but it seems a little pricey for something that I'm not sure the bells and whistles are necessary. So at this point, we'll just test it to make sure it actually works. I'm really going to be putting it to the test. Hi, Connie. I'm really going to put it to the test. And hi, Retro Curio Emporium. I don't think I've seen you on here before. Thank you for joining us. Really going to put it to the test this Sunday. I am doing a live stream with Katie from Vintage and Vinyl. We are going to be doing a deep dive into her collection of typewriter ribbon tins. And the intention is to make it an ongoing series. So I already have, Katie is the first one. So she will be Sunday at 7 p.m. So the same time, 7 p.m. Eastern, or I'm sorry, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. So we'll do Katie. That'll be a live interview where she's going to be showing her collection. So we'll be able to chat in the live stream. The following week, we're going to have Vinny from Vintage Vinny, and he is going to be talking about his Coca-Cola collection. And I've got a couple people trying to jockey for which dates are going to work best for them. So I've got a fountain pen collector. I've got somebody who's going to be doing cocktail stirrers. I'm really excited about that one. So we'll have hopefully we'll have a nice mix. So definitely be watching for that. Oh, actually, Amelia, can you run upstairs? On the printer is the calendar. I print. So there's a new calendar. It's a calendar that started out last week. Hopefully some of you have seen it already. And those of you who are joining early, you're probably going to get a lot of this repeated. Hey, Teresa. But we've got this calendar that Michael Todd, who joins a lot of the live sales, has created. Super nice of him to do so because he is not a reseller. He just likes attending he does buy, but he likes attending the events. So he created this really nice calendar that we're gathering as many of the schedules that we can. So that way, a couple of things. One, you'll just know who's coming up with a sale when. So that's just your nice little basic, but then there's also the fundamentals. At some point, everyone has other things that get in the way. So you may have to miss one sale, but maybe you'll be able to join somebody else's sale. So I appreciate those of you who've jumped into my sale for the first time. You might have seen, I think I saw some of your names on some of these other shows. So this is currently posted, and it's actually in a couple different places. I've got it on my Instagram page. And hi, Laura, first timer. Excellent. I've got it on my Instagram page, and I believe it's on the Trusty Huckster Mercantile Facebook page. So you can find it there. I know Misty has posted it onto her page. And a couple of people have it posted in a couple of different locations. The other thing we're doing and I should have written down the address. I think I remember it though. The other thing we're doing is, and I'll make sure I put the notes in the when the video posts. I'll try and have some notes in it. We've created a new Facebook page. So if Katie has it on the Vintage and Vinyl Instagram page as well, and she also has a great YouTube channel. But it's probably on her Instagram page. So you should be able to find the calendar in a couple different places. And there's Vinny is here from Vintage Vinny. So he is my victim for 2 weeks from now. So we'll be exploring his Coca-Cola collection. But we are creating a Facebook page that all of the resellers are joining. I'm trying to get all of the sellers to join together and have one location to store all of these calendars, the calendars that Michael is making. These are fantastic for Instagram, for Facebook, because it's something that's really easy to find and grab. Oh, Kiwi's Collectibles. Hey, how is? Oh, wait a minute. Kiwi is your dog. So how's Kiwi? I feel self-conscious calling you Kiwi when I know that's the name of your dog. These calendars are going to be in a bunch of different places, but we're trying to put as many of the resellers who are doing live sales will be on a Facebook page. I'll put the exact link in the comments, but you would find it by searching. It's Vintage Live YouTube. And if you do that all as one word, it's like facebook.com/vintage live YouTube. It's something that is where we're going to post these calendars as well. But it's also where, because if you're in Facebook, if you're used to using Facebook, we can create events in there. So you can actually sign up for the event and then get a reminder on Facebook, and you can sign up for all the different events, all of them, one of them. If you just want to follow one person, we're not going to be keeping score. Well, I might, but no, we're not going to be keeping score. So at this point, we're still trying to set it up, but definitely go ahead and follow it. I know I had this event was posted into it. I think Jeffrey's is posted in, because Jeffrey from Real Nifty Vintage has a sale scheduled for tomorrow night. Amelia just posted the link in the chat, so you'll be able to grab it there. Stephanie's sale is, I don't remember, Stephanie, if we set you up with an event yet. I think there was a question on when the time was, but Stephanie's got a sale coming up, I think, for jewelry tomorrow before Jeffrey's sale. So Thrifting Adventures will have a sale tomorrow. So anyway, that Facebook page is just going to be a place. I created it, but it's not my page. I'm making all of the other resellers, we're all going to be considered admins to it, so that it's not any one of our pages. It's really just kind of a group thing. I just will be the one babysitting it. But we hopefully can create all that. And maybe for those of you who like Facebook, it'll just be one more thing to be able to keep track of. I've started doing the little bell notification next to when you subscribe to a channel. You can sign up for the little bell, for reminders. I didn't used to do that, and now I have done it. And so I've caught a couple. Sometimes Stephanie from Thrifting Adventures, she's gone live spontaneously. I think Misty has gone live. Tim from Over the Years has gone live even in Instagram. And so sometimes if it's spontaneous, you can get alerts for that. But if it's a scheduled thing, I know I like to have it on my calendar. And so then I can get that alert, and Facebook is just a really nice way to organize that. So anyway, that's going to be up there. And, but again, so these posts, and I'm sitting here wondering what's tomorrow. Oh, actually, this is the calendar for next week. I don't have the calendar for this week, but I do think, Stephanie, if you haven't already commented, oh, yes, she did. So Stephanie's sale is, Stephanie's Thrifting Adventures, her sale is 2 p.m. and that is 2 p.m. Pacific, right, Stephanie? I think she's on the west. I think she's in Washington State or Oregon. So I think 2 p.m. is her local time. So 2 p.m. Pacific will be 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. And then Jeffrey from Real Nifty Vintage, he's had now the last couple of weeks, including tomorrow, he's doing his sales on Friday nights. And I'm pretty sure his is 7 p.m. On Friday night. And Vintage Vinny, I believe, said that he is doing another sale this Saturday as well. So Vintage Vinny, if you can follow his YouTube page, his are in the late afternoon. Vinny, if you want to post, I think it's 5 p.m. I don't see you on the calendar for next week, so you may not have one next week. But I think for Saturday, I want to say his are at 5 p.m. Eastern. But definitely check the calendars that are already out there. This one was just created by Michael Todd today. So this is the one for next week. It actually starts with Sunday, which has Mary's sale. And Mary is part of here. She is Reclaimed Treasures by Mary. She did her first sale just last week. So I got a couple items from that one. So that is the first one on this new calendar. And yes, Vinny did clarify his is 5 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. So calendars are going to, a lot more people are doing them. A lot of people are testing. Nicole Northgarden did her first one last week. I don't know if she's got another one scheduled. A lot of people are being encouraged by Misty at Thrifter Junker. Okay, I'm totally cheating. Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter. Sorry, her name's not that hard. I just always forget the order. She really kind of spearheaded them, I think. That she was doing live ones for a while, and she's really gotten into a rhythm. And what's great, just so everyone knows, she has really supported those of us who are trying to do it for the first time, being super helpful. She's serving as a moderator, all those fun things. And so that's very grateful. I'm very grateful for that, because we need that kind of support. So, anyway, so that's, and Misty always does hers on Wednesdays, and she does hers on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then she runs those for like about an hour and a half, maybe a little bit longer. Depends on how many things she has and how quickly she goes through them. But then after that one's over, she actually jumps onto her Instagram page. And I will just give you guys a tip. A lot of people get frustrated, and we'll go through the rules as we go through this for tonight, but a lot of people I know are starting to get frustrated with some of the resellers that are having really big audiences. And it's just a nature of the beast. You get a couple hundred people on a sale, it really does become fastest internet wins. And it seems unfair, but there's some really basic structures. Like, we can't run an auction. You need licenses for that. I mean, we could, but we'd have to go get licenses to do that. And that's not something most of us, or at least myself, would ever consider doing. So we have to do them as a sale. And I have participated in auctions before, and it doesn't really solve the problem, because you end up trying to do the bidding. You'll still have people with slower internet. So the auction will get called, and then suddenly a bid will come in because of that lag. Well, then they have to reopen the auction. So it tends to take a lot longer. So this is not ideal, but the tip is, if you join Misty in her YouTube sales, she will definitely have a couple hundred people, and there might be some heavy duty competition to get items. She runs this the Instagram sale starts right after the YouTube one ends. That one has far fewer people. So if you really want to get something from Misty, and it's not like she puts second quality stuff in her Instagram sale. Like, she puts top-notch stuff in all of her sales. Is all she carries. So it's not like you're getting secondhand stuff. She's just kind of testing the market for, like, what does Instagram do? And Instagram has that cool feature in it, which at this point, I think she's the only one I know of that's using it. But if you're frustrated with too many people or too much competition, there's a little bit less competition in the Instagram sale. Oh, Barb's here. All right. So I don't know if I missed if Jeffrey came over, but Barb from Winking Owl Antiques, AKA Jeffrey's right-hand person. She's joined us. So welcome, Barb. I don't want to stall too much or wait too much. Michelle from Comfy Cozy Living is here. Great. Hi, Laura Melendez. I appreciate everyone that's here. I'm using a new software, and what I've discovered is there are things here that I can't see or do. Like, I can't make any more moderators from StreamYard. So my daughter's a moderator, and I think I've got Misty. If she joins us, I think she's a moderator. So hopefully, if that turns into a problem, I know I can hop onto my phone and I'll be able to make more moderators. So just watch for trolls. My daughter will do the best she can to make sure she gets blocking people. If it gets out of hand, let me know, and we'll make sure that I get some more moderators set up. Usually I can do that straight from YouTube, but with StreamYard, when I try and do that, it doesn't give me that option. So just bear with me on that. StreamYard is a little bit new. I can't tell how many people are here. How many people are on, Amelia?
34.
Okay, so 34 people. Great. Carolyn, welcome back. So Carolyn has been on other shows before. Oh My Vintage, welcome. Lorianne, excellent. So we've got a bunch of people coming in. So while a few more people trickle in, I'm going to go through a couple of the basic rules. For those of you who are here for the first time, works pretty much the same way all the other rules or all the other live sales have been working. What I will be doing is I will be showing you an item. I will give you a description of that item, maybe tell you a little story because I'm super long-winded, and I will just talk a little bit about it. I will then show you, or I'll tell you the price. I will then reveal the number. If you're interested in the item, wait for the number to be revealed. If I do it right, it'll be the last thing I say. If you want it, go ahead and type that number into the live chat. The first person that we see that posts that number will be the person that receives it. Now, in some cases, internet connections can be slower. We have no way to really control that. So the only real fair way is for us to use what we're seeing on our end. So just be aware of that. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do. You won't know that you're buffering, admittedly. I mean, I've experienced this myself. I've yet to be able to buy something from Misty because there's always so much competition. The one way you can know if you are buffering, the best way to know if you are buffering, if you see numbers starting to show up, even for an item you don't want, before I say the number, it means that you've fallen behind. It's not your fault. It's just the internet. It's just going to happen. So what you would need to do is you need to back out of YouTube, close it, refresh it. If you're on your PC, just refresh it. It should catch itself back up. You may need to do that on a semi-regular basis, depending on how steady and secure your internet connection is. So just be aware if at any point you start buffering, you're going to start falling behind. And those with the faster internet connections, unfortunately, means they're going to be the first one to get that in if there's a lot of competition for the piece. So just be aware of that. It's basically, Amelia will be running that. She is going to keep track of who gets it, and she will post who gets it in the chat. This is not a debate, people. Once she sees who the first person is, that's the person who gets it, and we move on. I am desperately going to try and focus on just the sale and not read the chat. And that's not, I don't offend anybody, but I'll pop over once in a while. So, Elderly Poodle is here. Hello. Ducky Jones is here. She bought from me before. Retro Curio, she had signed on earlier today. I think this was her first time. I'm not going to be able to stay with the chat because it slows up the flow of the of the sale for those of you who want, to keep looking at the individual items. So that's everything you need to know about the sale itself. Going to go ahead and get things started. What I will say is I also want to be sensitive to everyone's time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this. I've got alarm set. We're going to run the first part of this for an hour at 8 o'clock Central Time, an hour from now, or actually 55 minutes from now. I will kind of wrap up the first part of it, make sure, we've got any questions. At any point, if you win something, you're going to need to send me an email. I kind of forgot that part. All of these prices do not include shipping. So when I give you a price, we're going to calculate shipping. If you buy multiple items, I'll put them all together so you'll save on shipping. At some point, you need to send me an email and I have a new email address because of a scarily disproportionate number of people who had a problem spelling my original email address. So my new email address is thmvintage@gmail.com. Amelia will put that in the chat. Once you claim something, you need to send me an email with your zip code and your email address you want to use. I will be sending PayPal. You don't have to have a PayPal account, but I need your email address because just so you are aware, I can't contact you while you're chatting. Like live, we can talk to you, but I can't go back and click on your icon and suddenly have any way of accessing you. So if you do not contact me and you've never bought from me before, I have literally no way to get you anything. And related to that, if at any point you get something and say, your internet wasn't fast enough or whatever, somebody beat you to it. If you've got a couple of items like that, go ahead and send me an email anyway, and just say you were the underbidder for certain items. Because there is the real possibility someone won't give me their information or whatever happens, or as has happened now in both of my sales, somebody changed their mind. So it ends up they bought it, which means they took it away from somebody else who had also bid on it. But by the time they changed their mind, I'd already either mailed it to the person. In one case, I'd already mailed the shipment. So then we had is it worth getting it all by itself? Or in another case, it was an underbidder who'd never bought from me. So I didn't know how to get a hold of that person. So it's not fair. Keep that in mind when you're bidding. This is a business for us that do these sales. Life happens. Things are going to happen. You may have to cancel, but don't do it on purpose. And keep in mind, these prices don't include shipping. I'm in Illinois, so I'm fairly midstream, that no matter where you're at, it's not going to be horrible. But ship from here to California is still embarrassingly high. So just keep that in mind, depending where you're at. Look at what it is. And if you've got a question like, is it actually heavy, or are you just a wimp? I will tell you, look, this thing weighs like 5 pounds. As you do more of these sales, you might want to keep those things in mind to know how many people or how much things are going to cost. So if you're going to get a 1 pound package versus a 10 pound package, hey, that item's only $2, but it just cost you $22 to ship it. That may not be that great of a deal. So anyway, keep that in mind. And then at 8 o'clock, Trustee's bargain bin is coming back. People really liked it. So I've got another bargain bin. Everything in the Trustee's bargain bin will be $2. Some of it will be stuff you've never seen before. Others will be items that did not sell in my earlier sales, and they've been marked down to $2. So I'm, basically getting rid of everything. So Trustee's bargain bin will show up at 8 o'clock Central in an hour. If you're not interested in that kind of stuff, sign off. But if you want some really good deals, watch for Trustee's bargain bin. All right, so we're gonna start the sale. Hi, Sherry. See, every once in a while I'll try and look. Sherry O'Neill, she's in California, so she knows how much it costs to ship to California. First item is a throwback to my very first place after college. I really like Biedermeier furniture, and I couldn't afford Biedermeier furniture, so I decided to do everything in black and beige. So this is very much of its era of the 90s. It wasn't Biedermeier. You never would have thought it was Biedermeier, but I liked the black and beige. So I've got this desk set. It's this huge blotter. It's got the wooden pieces here to hold down a piece of paper. I have never had a piece of paper in here in my life, but it's a rubbery material. So it actually works really nice for a laptop because it keeps it from sliding around. A little pencil cup that goes with it and a letter holder. Now I will admit the letter holder, in general, I do not sell items with damage. As a rule, in some cases, like this has been in my personal collection and I damaged it. But if it has damage, I will point it out. So if you've never been in one of my sales, I am Trusty Huckster, but the Trustee is the important part. I will always be upfront if there's any damage, but in general, there won't be any. This one, basically, it got pressed into something and this back piece kind of pushed. So you can see there's a little bit of a split to the wood, but it's still totally sturdy. It doesn't wiggle around or anything. So it's a 3-piece desk set. It's from Bombay Company. So again, I use very much of its era. 3-piece desk set. It is $10, and the number is 1. And that's totally by coincidence. So it's not like I'm doing things in order. So don't get cocky that, oh, hey, number 2 is going to be number 2. No, it's not. So the desk set number 1 is $10. Next item is, there's going to be a couple pieces that I'm bringing into the sale this evening that there are multiple pieces, and this is one of them. So if it's popular and there are multiple people that want to get them, if you don't, there's going to be more than one. And what this is this is a stoneware dinner set. What I did was I created a 5-piece place setting of the teacup or coffee cup and saucer, the cereal bowl, and then the salad plate and the dinner plate. They are all from Mark Japan. Gaiety Sculpture Hearthside Stoneware is the stamp. These last grace, for those of you who followed me before, you know a lot of what I've done when I started Trusty Huckster Mercantile. I'm selling props and set dressing from community theater. This last graced the stage of August Osage County. So I believe I have a service of 8 of all of these. So what I'm doing is selling them as an individual 5-piece stoneware set. So for those 5 pieces, it's only $3 for the full set and plus shipping. So keep this in mind. If you buy the entire setting, you're probably going to have about 20 pounds worth of stoneware, but 3 pounds for one setting, and it's the number 3. So it's 5-piece stoneware of the Hearthside pattern, number 3, $3. All right. Moving in some glass. You'll see a trend. I have a lot of glass, a lot of pottery, a lot of porcelain. That tends to be what I like to do. These are really cute set. It's a pair of rooster glasses. They are not marked in any way. They're just clear, and they've got the rooster pattern on it on 3 sides. They're relatively small. They're little juice glasses. They are about 3 inches tall, and there are 2 of them. They're in perfect condition, no chips, no cracks. The way they're manufactured, there's a couple of bubbles in the glass, but they're not flaws. That's just the way the glass, the way they were made. We're not talking about, Tiffany's studio glass. So it's a pair of rooster glasses, rooster juice glasses. The glasses are $3, and it's number 50. So number 50, $3 for the rooster glasses. Staying in the kitchen, we've got a little creamer and sugar set. So this is the hearth side pattern from International Table Works. They're marked Japan. I believe this pattern is from the maybe 90s, 80s, maybe 90s, kind of that farmhouse country kitchen look. We've got the creamer and we've got the covered sugar. All 3 pieces are in perfect shape. There's no chips, no cracks, anything to the cover or to the inside of any of the individual pieces. They've got different little farm scenes on different sides. You've got the ram, the chicken, and the little farm wife. On the back is just a little floral design. And then on the creamer, you've got the animals, and the farmer is on this side with a cow. So you've got the 3-piece set of the Heartland creamer and sugar set. The cream and the sugar, it's $6, and it's number 49. So number 49, $6 for the Heartland creamer and sugar set. All right, and Teresa got number 50. I've already forgotten what number 50 is.
Number 50 were the rooster glasses.
Oh, the rooster glasses. So Teresa got the rooster glasses. Congratulations. So not everyone wants rooster juice glasses. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. So we've got massive martini glasses. Now, you could make a martini. You may not finish it because you might be dead by the time you finish drinking it. So really, these are designed, they're centerpiece glasses. These were picked up for theater use. They're at the point now that they don't serve the purpose they were once purchased for, and they're very large and they're getting in my way. So these were technically not purchased for resale, but I need to get rid of them. Oh, Misty's here. Hi, Misty, thrifter, junker, vintage hunter. So these are, I think this falls under what was the running joke last week. This would be Misty's shot glass. And this happens to be another case where there are 2 of these. They are $5 each. The first person that gets it will get this one. There is a very slight difference between the 2. This one, if you look, has a very flat rim on the top. For whatever reason, it's flat. So I don't know, you could put something on top of it, I guess. The other one has a more traditional, like rolled rim, like it's more like a curved rim. That's just the way they were. It's not like one's broken or anything. It's just they were designed by 2 different companies, but they're both the exact same size. From a distance, they look the same. The martini glass, 1 martini glass is $5. First person to claim will get this one with number 13. So 13 is $5 for the martini glass. And if 2 people claim it, the second person, unless the first person wants both, you can say you want both, but the second person will get the second martini glass. All right. And then once you've had your martinis, the next morning you might need more of a cup of coffee. So we've got a nice little teacup and saucer. This is it's a standalone piece, and it's why it never got listed on Etsy. I was always hoping to find a match or a mate to it. Never did. It is the Franciscan pattern from Franciscan China. It's the Palomar pattern, which Franciscan's a very well-known name. I don't know if Jeffrey is on here, but Barb would attest. Jeffrey from Real Nifty Vintage loves his Franciscan. He collects the ivy. This Palomar is just this really pretty, it's not really coming up as the true color. It's a really pretty green color. And for whatever reason, the computer is making it look a little bluish than it really is. is kind of a sage green color. It's the cup and the saucer. It's in absolutely perfect condition. Franciscan Palomar teacup and saucer. It's $6 and it's number 24. So 24, $6 for the Franciscan Palomar teacup. And if you don't want tea, we can go back to alcohol. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, looks like Christina got number 24. So Christina receives the Palomar tea set. It's one of my favorite pieces, and I really had wished I could have found a mate to it, so I could have sold it as a pair. So I hope you're getting a really good deal on it. So for $6, I hope you give it a good home. All right. So we've had the martinis, we've had others. We now have a tequila set. So for those of you who have not joined my sales before, one of the impetus to doing these sales is the fact that I only sell on Etsy, so I can only sell vintage. It's a rule of selling on Etsy. Everything's 20 years or older. But I had a friend who had a gift shop in a retail environment, and I helped source items for her store. And it was unfortunately forced to close as a part of the current environment that we're in. And so I get this phone call with 2 days notice that I had to clear out about 100 to 150 items that I had purchased specifically for her store, that now I had no place to sell them. So there are going to be some contemporary pieces in the collection, and this is one of them. The gift shop had a heavy cocktail theme. So this is basically a tequila shooter set. It's got the shot glass for the tequila. It has this little plate with the bull chasing the guy with I'm assuming the name of the town. I'm not going to try and pronounce that, but that's what's written on the bottom of it. That I think is supposed to hold your lemon wedge. And then you've got the salt shaker. So they all sit together, but then when you're in use, you would take your shot of tequila. You would take the, let's see if I remember how to do it. You take the shot of tequila, you pour salt on your hand, your wrist, and then you suck on the lemon. Okay, it's been a long time since I was in college, folks. So that's the last time I did this. So I have no idea the age on this. It is marked on the bottom, all in Spanish. And I believe it's just a touristy item from wherever that town was on the front. So, something you pick up on a cruise ship, at port. Okay, Lorianne's telling me to suck. So we've got salt, tequila, suck. Okay. Oh, so you do the salt before the tequila. Oh, see, it's been a while. I'm a vodka guy. So anyway, there is a little bit of wear. You can see on the bowl, because this piece has been sitting on it, I think it kind of scratched it up. But there is a stopper at the bottom of the salt shaker. So in general, it's a really cute piece, fun piece. It's an $8 piece for the tequila set. And you can claim the tequila set by using number 63. So 63 is $8 for the 3-piece tequila set. All right. So after you finish your tequila, you might need something more calming. So what I've got on this case, Vinny's a Sprite and vodka guy. All right. It might be dangerous if he and I ever go clubbing. First of all, he'd be mortified to go clubbing with me. I'm old enough to be his father. But this is a set of 3 Luray Pastel berry bowls from Taylor Smith and Taylor. They are, and again, I'm not sure if why my camera is making the colors look weird. I'll have to see if I can fix that. This is supposed to be yellow. I'm not sure what you guys are seeing, but it's not looking yellow for me. This is, again, kind of like an sagey green, maybe a little bit of an aqua-y green. And then this one's the blue. So I'll put the blue and the green next to each other because on the camera, you're not really telling the difference. They are 3 distinct colors. So these are the small berry bowls. Unfortunately, I have an odd set of 3. So for the 3 Luray Pastel berry bowls, there are $3 for the full set of 3, and you can get the set for number 12. So number 12 gets you the 3 berry bowls of Luray Pastel. All right. This piece was also in the gift shop, and I'm not sure if there's any age to these. I just thought they were really cute when I picked them up, and I'm going to offer them here just with the knowledge. I really just don't know how old they are. They are kind of a stoneware, kind of material that's unfinished on the bottom. There's a little bit of an indentation, but I'll be honest, that to me is not enough of an indentation to hold the cork. So I think these are newer, that these would have actually been designed for the plastic, those really flat plastic stoppers. But they're a pair of these tiny little sets of suitcases. They're in absolutely perfect condition. One has 2 holes, one has 3. They just don't have the stoppers. So very cute. Luggage salt and pepper shakers. The pair is $4, and you get that by claiming number 10. So number 10 is a salt and pepper shaker in the luggage shape. All right, if you watched one of my haul videos a while back, I think it was right before everything started shutting down, I had done a road trip to Indiana. Actually, I was hoping to meet Misty for the first time during that trip, but our schedules just didn't hook up. So I unfortunately did not get to meet her in person, but I did get to scope out some of her honey holes for items. And one of the items that I found was this beautiful hand-painted plate. It was sitting in a booth with just kind of a mismatch of items. I think it was probably from a home clear out. It appears to be something that would have been like a hand-painted project that probably this woman did on her own. It is signed in the bottom corner, signed by Oma Halsum, I believe is what we figured out her name was. So somewhere Oma probably passed away somewhere in Indiana, and this is one of the remnants of her life, and ended up in a flea market, indoor flea market. It's a beautiful, beautiful plate. It's got a gold trim. It's got the winter scene. It's got the hand painting of the branches all the way around it. It's even the blank is not stamped in any way. So again, I don't really know the age on this. She didn't put a date on the piece, and it's not dated on the back. There is a gold trim. So, I honestly just don't know. I just think this is super sweet. It is a winter theme. It doesn't have to be Christmassy. It's just kind of a winter that I would think would look great hanging on the wall, or, use it as a dresser set or whatever the case may be. And Michelle pointed out Oma is German for grandma. So I don't know, maybe that was her title as opposed to her first name. I guess I assumed that they could be a first name as well, but I don't know. Maybe this was painted for their grandchildren. The grandchildren threw it away. So, feel the love. But this is a hand-painted plate. It's 6-sided, hexagonal shape. So it's kind of cool looking. It is $5 for the hexagonal plate, and it is number 25. 25 for $5 for the hand-painted winter scene. I've mentioned before, I don't really do a lot in jewelry. I do porcelain, pottery, glass, things like that. But every once in a while, I do come across a couple pieces, some of it for theater. And this was just one that, for whatever reason, I kind of thought this was really interesting. For all intents and purposes, it seems like a piece of plastic. It is extremely long, to the point that if you put it on, even doubling it would make it pretty long. So more likely you would actually have a triple strand. And yes, I'm going to put this on. Even with a triple strand, it hangs pretty low. So I should have measured the full length. And I know that Stephanie is on here from Thrifting Adventures. She might know jewelry a little bit more. It's just one continuous thread. It is not, there's no clasp. It's not marked in any way. It's a little bit brighter of a green than what's coming across on the camera. So I apologize for that. I don't know if I can fix my colors. It's just kind of an odd little necklace that I think gives a really pop of color. It could be, 60s, 70s plastic. It could also be 90s, 2000 plastic. It could be dollar store plastic for all I know. So I, don't know what it is. Don't know the specifics of it. So I'm only selling it as $3. So the green necklace, super long length green necklace, is $3, and it's number 37. So 37, $3 for the lime green necklace. Last week's sale in Trustee's bargain bin, there was a Chromex tray that I offered into the bargain bin for $2 because it was after I had purchased it for more than $2, by the way. But after I had purchased it, I discovered that it was actually supposed to be the base for something like I thought maybe a glass dish. Some other people said they thought a canister set or something set in it. So I made it gave it a really good discount price for $2. But I love Chromex, and I have several pieces of it. And this is one that I'm offering as part of the regular sale. This is a larger piece of Chromex. This one is from handle to handle. This one is 17 and almost 18 inches long, 17 3/4 inches long. It's in absolutely pristine condition. It has the brass handles on both sides applied to the chrome tray. The chrome tray is not dented. There's some signs of use, but I wouldn't say there's scratches. I mean, this would be something you could very easily polish up. Oddly, or at least in my experience, what I found odd, the tray itself doesn't appear to have the Chromex stamp on it, but what is stamped is the handle. So the handles are each marked with Chromex, made in the USA. So this very large decorative tray, really don't know what you necessarily would serve on it. So really just, I feel, a decorative tray. Still a great price. It's only $5, and Chromex tray is $5. It's number 26. So 26 for the Chromex tray. $5. If you follow my Instagram, you will know that this recently, just last night, there was a sale that took place on a Facebook page. I suggest you all consider following. It's called Treasures from Yesteryear. And it's a Facebook group. It's free to join. Anybody can join. And usually once or twice a week, they run member sales. And last night was one of the sales that I participated in. It's not something it's hard to get into a sale. It's a very popular page. There's about 13,000 people that follow it and some regular sellers. And last night I tried to sell this. So it did not sell. So I'm moving it into this sale. It is a Home Sweet Home cookie jar. It's not marked in any way except an incised mark on the bottom that says made in Japan. So we don't have a maker's mark or anything, but we do know there's a little bit of age to it, made in Japan. There's a little bit of discoloration, which is coming across the camera. So a little bit of staining from use. There's some crazing on the lid. See if that's something you can see. It's not coming in perfectly, but hopefully you can see a little bit. You can see a little bit of crazing there along the edge. It's not substantial, and there are no chips or cracks. So the piece itself is actually in really good condition. It's just showing some crazing from its age and then a little bit of discoloration. But the markings, it says Home Sweet Home on both the front and the back. It's a super sweet piece. I was a little surprised it didn't sell in the Facebook sale because it's only $6. So Home Sweet Home, made in Japan, cookie jar, $6, and it's number 14. So 14 for $6 for the Home Sweet Home cookie jar. As I mentioned, one of the things that I really like is porcelain. And I'm of the age that I grew up with the Norman Rockwell, Precious Moments, David Winter, Cottage Phases. I just like decorative objects. And so even though there's not as much of a market for those anymore, I still tend to come across things, and it reminds me of that time, simpler time. And you really can't go wrong with a blue and white porcelain plate. So this is a Berggren plate. Berggren. It is a brand that does basically this kind of Scandinavian Nordic look. This one happens to be blue and white, but I just sold a Berggren plate earlier in the week that was of a rooster. They're typically from the 60s, 70s, going into the 80s. I think they might still even exist to a certain extent, but they basically do this design or this style. This is simply a blue and white porcelain plate with a reticulated border. It's not stamped in any way on the back, but I'm not sure you'll be able to see it on the camera. But if you look at the very bottom of the flower, you can see extremely pale blue. It actually says Berggren. So it is marked. It's just not stamped on the back. And on the back actually has the holes to hang it. So this is designed to be a decorative piece. It doesn't go as far as to say, you know, do not use for food or we will kill you type thing, but it's definitely a decorative piece. So the Berggren blue and white floral reticular plate, it is $3, and you can get that plate for number 46. So 46 is the blue and white reticulated Berggren plate, $3. All right, just moving into some glass. This, I'm not sure how well these are going to show up on this on the screen, but this is a pair of kitchen trivets. I believe they are milk glass. Oh, and look, it's actually showing pretty well. In the design of the trivet is a flower pattern. It is the exact same design on both of the trivets, and it's only on one side. So you've got this decorative floral pattern on the front. On the back, it's basically just, you can see there's kind of a texture to the glass. So I want to say they're milk glass. You can't tell as much. Well, you can tell a little bit. You can see they're translucent. So you can see my hand behind it. So you can see through these. So they are glass. I believe they are milk glass. I do not know the maker. I couldn't find any, you know, marks or anything along the edge. They have a seam. So they are pressed, you know, these are not like blown glass or anything like that. These are utilitarian pieces. These are really nice sized and nice, a decent weight. They're not super heavy, but they're just a nice piece. This is a kitchen trivet. Like this is a hot pad. Like this would be designed for use. And you know, like Vinny, AJ just said, they're very vintage, but I don't know what vintage they are. Like with that floral pattern, is that pushing it all the way back into like the 50s? Or it's like, is that a daisy? Like, is that 70s? So I don't actually know what era these are. So when I tend not to know what something is, I don't tend to get I never get overly greedy on price. I want things to have a good home. So it's the pair of glass trivets are $3. So if you can give them a good home, paragraph trivets, $3, you get both of them. And that is number 21. So 21 for both of the milk glass trivets. Vinny thinks the 70s, and I'd probably agree with that. I'm a child of the 70s, and as I typically say, I never had anything that cool in my house. So it's hard for me sometimes to recognize it. But anyway, so those are $3, and it looks like they were picked up by Ducky Jones. So congratulations. So another theme, if you follow me on my Etsy store, if you follow me in Facebook or Etsy, I have a penchant for serving platters. Now, nobody's serving anybody anything right now because we're all locked in our homes alone. But, you know, the day will come that these pieces of serving platters, they're just really nice. And I like this one because it's a very simple design. It's got this kind of, I don't know what you would consider that, but kind of like this architectural design that goes all the way around the edges. The middle is not marked at all. And it is marked on the back. It's fine china, Sango, Japan. And it looks like trend is the, I'm assuming is the line maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But it's 9 by 12. So it's not massive, but it's a nice size, you know, even if it's just, you know, bringing burgers in from the grill. And it's only $4. So 9 by 12 Sango platter, $4, number 6. The number 6 for the 9 by 12 platter. Did somebody buy the creamer and sugar? Okay. I was just asking if anyone had bought the Heartland creamer and sugar because I didn't want to forget this. It doesn't bode well if nobody wanted it, but I'm going to throw in a little commercial because Vinny is here. Misty is here. I don't think George is here, but on Monday night there, and I will put links to this once this video posts, but on Monday night, we're doing a special live sale with all 4 of us at one time. So we are going to share the screen with all 4 of us. We're all going to be talking at the same time because we're all talkers. And it's going to be Misty from Thrifter, Junker, Vintage Hunter. Ooh, I got it right. And it's going to be Vinny from Vintage Vinny. It'll be George from the Antique Nomad and me. So we will be doing that on Monday night, 7 o'clock Central, same time as this one. And I will have the canister set that matched the creamer and sugar that evidently no one wanted. I will have the two pieces of the canister set will also be available, and that'll be available at the sale on Monday night. So keep that in mind. Mark your calendars. Watch for that. It'll be Thrifter, Junker, Vintage Hunter. Ooh, 2 in a row. Vintage Vinny. I screwed up Vintage Vinny. Vintage Vinny, the Antique Nomad, and Trusty Huckster Mercantile. So it'll be super exciting. We're planning to let it run for 2 hours, and we will take turns selling items. So all 4 of us will, we'll take turns, and we'll just see how many we get through in 2 hours. So hopefully we'll have a lot of fun. That's Memorial Day weekend, Monday night. Spend the day drinking your martinis or whatever, and then come watch us have a live sale. All right, we are back in the kitchen with kind of an interesting piece. I actually have several that are like this. These also grace the set of the August Osage County. This is a covered casserole, and this one, as several of them do that I have, it has the Pyrex bowl that goes in it. So it is a handled dish. Now there are different designs. I'm only selling one tonight, but just in general, there are some where this is actually open so that this sits in it. And I don't know if it's for heat or whatever the case. This is actually just more of a frame. This one is completely closed. It's kind of got that hammered metal design. And what I really like about this one is it has these bamboo handle styles. It is marked Everlast is the brand. So you've got the base piece. In this one, the base piece, actually, you can kind of see it. The edges they're kind of cut out where this side has a rim and then it disappears when you get to the edge. Because when you get to the edge, you actually fit the Pyrex bowl into it. So this bowl, at least this style of bowl, is designed to go into this piece. But it is a standard piece of Pyrex. I'd written it down, but the note fell out. So it's 023, 1.5 liters, it looks like. I know they did liters, I thought they did quarts. Looks like 1.5 L, but I can't tell. Pyrex for oven and microwave, no stovetop or broiler, Corning, New York, USA. I do not know Pyrex. I'm not sure you'll be able to see this. I do not know Pyrex, so I don't know ages of stamps. So I don't necessarily know how old that is, but I would say based on the pieces, you're looking 60s, 70s. And then you've got this great lid that, again, the lid also has a cutout. So when you put it all together, it goes in a very specific order. And so the lid actually fits really nicely on there and doesn't spin all the way. And that also has the bamboo pattern with a bamboo handle. So I just think this is super cool, like super vintagey. I do think these are probably maybe 50s, 60s. I don't think this gets into the 70s, but I could be wrong. Again, never hit anything that cool. So this is an aluminum covered Pyrex dish. All 3 of the pieces of it is available. It's $8, and that is number 11. So number 11 is the aluminum covered Pyrex casserole for $8. Moving on to a piece of glass. This is actually another little dish. This is I picked up on that trip, the failed attempt to meet Misty. So this was also picked up in Indiana. I could not find this pattern, but based on all of the other glass that I picked up in Indiana, I'm going to guess it's Indiana glass because it seems like Indiana makes it and then never lets it leave its borders. So this is a thistle, and I'm making this up on my own. This is a thistle and star design because I couldn't find this. And it's like a thistle on the corners. And then in the middle, it's not really a star. It's kind of like a pentagon. So I'm not really sure what the pattern is. And I'm not 100% sure on its age. It's this avocado-y green. So I would say this is probably one of the times that they were making this into the 70s. I mean, I do not believe this is Depression glass era because I don't think they did that color in the 30s. So I think it's still vintage. It's just not, it's not the original piece. I just really like it. There was one place where I think somewhere along one of the teeth, I want to say it wasn't quite as sharp, but in general, it was in really good condition. And right now I can't even find the place where I thought it had a mark. So it's super minor if it's there. But you've got that little sawtooth edge And you can see in general, it's in really good shape. So I want to say there was a piece and I should have marked it, but I don't think it's perfect. But anyway, I've only priced it for $3. So it's this little thistle glass dish, $3. It's number 30. $3 for number 30. All right. Had too much serious stuff for a while, so we're going to get back into drinking categories. We've got another shaker. I sold one of these last week. I believe it went to Misty. This one is a copper tone design. So it's got the copper color on the lid, this stainless like top body thing that comes off, or the top that comes off, and then the body itself is copper. It is marked Pier 1 Imports. I'm sorry, Pier 1, you've gone away, or it's going away. So it's a Pier 1 import, so it's definitely not, I mean, who knows how old it is, but it's not old. But it's in absolutely great condition. There's no dents. I mean, it's a hammered design, so there's that, but there's no dents that aren't supposed to be there within the chrome, and then the lid is still there. So it's a single piece, or single item is the copper tone cocktail shaker. It's $7 for the piece, and it's number 2. So number 2, $7 for the copper tone 3-piece cocktail shaker. All right, another piece that I don't know for sure the age is this little bowl that also was in the gift shop. So I'm taking the gift shop price tag off. But I will tell you, I sold it, I had listed it at the gift shop for $15. I'm selling it for way less than that tonight. It is this little Asian style planter, bowl, dish, whatever. It has the moriage pretty much all around it. So all of these little dots that you see in the background, these are all raised. So these are all individually applied individually with the slipware to make it a little bit raised, called moriage. You can feel the gold in the what you call like the trellis. That is also raised, but this little design of the little medallion, that is not. So that's just painted on. Of the individual pieces, the butterfly is a little bit raised, but like the branches are not. So it's kind of a mixture. I don't know if it's all hand painted or how it was done. It's not marked in any way, but I also don't think this has significant age to it. I mean, this to me seems like another, like maybe a Pier 1 or a Cost Plus World Market type thing. It's a really beautiful piece that I think would add to a lot of different decor. The color is pretty representational on this one. So it's got the blue and the dark blue, so the tone on tone, and then the cream colors in the medallions. It's really pretty. Like I said, unmarked on the bottom. It's only $5. So for $5, you get the Asian style planter with number 31. So number 31, $5 for the Asian planter. Okay, I'm going to pick something up from behind me. So this actually just came in. I bought this specifically to sell at this sale because at this point, Illinois' thrift stores have not reopened yet. So I'm getting to a point where there's no way to source anything. So I found this online. And I bought a couple of these. There'll be others possibly going into other sales, but this one I felt that needed to happen at this sale. So it's a photograph, and it's done on Kodak paper. So it's an actual photograph that has been matted and signed by the photographer, and it's of a dog reading a book called The Hidden Life of Dogs. Now, I will say when it was originally taken, I don't think it was taken with the highest quality camera, because as it got blown up into this side, I don't know if you can tell it through the computer, it's starting to get a little grainy in the picture of the cover of the book. You can say it was on purpose because the dog doesn't seem to be as grainy. So I'm not 100% sure, and I'm not really a photographer. It was just something I was able to get at a pretty decent price that, to be perfectly honest, I was buying something else that I wanted in a bigger box, and this was able to be thrown in there. So I was able to get a couple extra pieces. And so it was called The Hidden Life of Dogs is the name of the photograph. Again, signed by the photographer. It's a framed piece or a matted piece. It's not framed, the matted piece, and it is $10. And so you can get the the Hidden Life of Dogs $10 photo print for number 49. So 49 is the Hidden Life of Dogs matted photograph. All right, I mentioned earlier that I was basically raised on Norman Rockwell and collectible plates and things like this. So these are not for my personal collection. I will say these are not something that I'm selling of my own, although I probably have some somewhere. This is a collection of Christmas plates that totally fall into that 80s era when people were getting decorative plates. The images are fun, but this one actually, so this one's got the image of a bunny rabbit and a squirrel, like a winter scene with a cardinal, and it has a little saying on it, and it's dated Christmas 1980. This one is another Christmas scene that's dated 1981. So another winter scene, another cardinal, kind of an ice skating group, 1981. And this one is on the back. This is an American Greetings plate, the Christmas 1981. And the bunny rabbit was Designer's Collection. I actually sold a little bluebird basket, porcelain basket that was a Designer's Collection. So I'm not familiar with that brand, but they seem to be doing those things like the 80s. And this is one of those cases. It was a limited edition of 12,000. But so you've got the two dated Christmas plates. And I don't know if there's really a market that people like the dates. So I also had one extra Christmas plate that, again, falls into the absolute epitome of that era, because this one is one of my personal favorites of limited editions. It was an edition limited to a total of 28 firing days. These kilns are probably the size of my house, and they're firing thousands upon thousands of them every day. But hey, they're only going to fire it for 28 days. So I don't know how many of these exist. This one happens to be numbered 3,695C. So it's like, so how many different letters were done each day? But it has a certificate of authenticity. So you've got, this one is called Christmas Dreams from the Lissy Martin Christmas. It's the Hamilton collection in association with Pictura. So again, it's of its era. It's a very sweet Christmas design, a little child on a rocking horse. You know, this could look great in a Christmas display, as can these. You know, if you're just decorating a little bookshelf or you've got a retail space and you just want something cute, they're nice. It's just there's not a huge market for them. And so I'm selling them for the stack of 3, selling them for $5. And you get all 3 of the plates for $5 for number 43. So 43 gets you the Christmas scene with the bird, the bunny and the squirrel, and the certificate of authenticity to go with the child with the rocking horse in front of the tree. And it looks like Laura Mendez got 43. So she is getting the set of plates for $5. I did go through a trend as I was picking things up when I first started sourcing for my Etsy store. I found a lot of aluminum because, again, originally I was sourcing for the theater, and it turns out aluminum works great. What's that? Okay. The aluminum works great because, again, it's not breakable. I definitely sourced things for shows that didn't survive the show because it broke. So I have a whole collection of these different aluminum trays, and this one's one of my favorites because the workmanship that went into the handle. So you've got these flowers that are designed into the individual handles. It's a hammered design. Again, it's stamped from Rodney Kent. It's a creation from Rodney Kent. And it's called the tulip bowl because I guess those are tulips that are hammered and pushed into the inside. Now the floral design does not come through to the outside. So it's hammered on the outside. So I'm not exactly sure how that was created on the inside. I'm not a metalsmith, but very cool, decently sized little aluminum dish for $5. And you can get that aluminum dish for $5 by giving number 23. So number 23 is the aluminum dish with the floral handles and the tulips in the body. So we had a request come from some of the stuff that was behind me. If there's anything you want to do behind, because Trusty's bargain bin is going to open in about 10 minutes. So if there's anything you see behind me you want me to go through, I'll grab a couple things, but don't hesitate to ask Amelia and I'll make sure I turn around and grab them. Looks like Stacy Brinkley grabbed the aluminum dish. All right, so this was, again, something from the gift shop. I do not know the age on this. They're in the shape of little fishermen, like fishing bobbers. They're salt and pepper shakers. The stoppers are still there. These could be made a week ago. I mean, well, they weren't, I bought them longer than that, but I have no idea if there's any age to these at all. But they're super cute. And so if you've got, a cabin in the woods, or you've got, that type of farm or, lake house decor, it's just really cute. They're red and white. They're in absolutely perfect condition. The stoppers are still in place. These are totally functional. I just don't think they happen to be vintage. And I am selling them for $5. And you can get the Bobbers salt and pepper shaker for number 54. So number 54 gets you the salt and pepper shakers in the shape of Bobbers.
The double vase.
All right, we got a request for the Hull double vase. So last week I basically seemed to amaze many of my guests that I had a piece of Hull. It was the Hull Swan planter, and they couldn't believe I was selling it at such a low price. So somebody did pick it up. I'm sure it's still en route because shipments seem to be taking forever lately. So just be aware of that. I ship everything priority mail, and some of these things have not. I had my first sale 2 weeks ago, and some of those shipments still haven't made it. But anyway, this was picked up at the same time as I got the Swan. It came from the same estate sale. This is the double vase. It's the yellowy green. Again, it's not really showing up particularly well in this light on the camera. But as it goes up, it becomes a little bit more green at the top, and as it goes down, it's a very pale green to almost a yellow. But then on the bottom is the pink. And it's in absolutely perfect condition. There's no chips, no cracks, no issues with it. It is marked Hull in the script at the bottom, along with the piece of tape that I don't know what that represented. That's not for me. So that piece of Hull, the double vase, is being sold for the exact same price I sold the Swan for. So it's a double vase from Hull is $7, and it is number 9. So number 9 for the double vase for $7. Kind of a weird piece I wanted to throw out is I don't really do much in clothing because I know nothing about it. So this ends up being a piece from my personal collection. This is probably literally 25 to 30 years old. I think I had this in one of my first jobs where I had to wear a shirt and tie every day. He's solid black and white. He's in good condition because I tended not to wear him very often because I don't wear solid white colored shirts. So he just didn't get worn. And I realized I've got too much stuff and I need to start thinning the herd. And Stephanie has had some really good success with her sales at Thrifting Adventures. So I'm like, you know what? I want to try to sell a tie. So the Snoopy tie, it is from the Cervantes collection. It is 95% polyester, 5% silk, made in Los Angeles, USA. So hey, made in the USA, that's something. It is $4 for the Snoopy tie, and that is number 8. So number 8 for the Snoopy tie for $4. And then I wanted to include this because I happen to have 2 of them. I'm only putting 1 in the sale. It looks like Christina is getting the Snoopy tie. Thanks, Christina. I hope you like it. This is a 1977 poster. It's marked LAP 603, 1977 Sunrise Publications. And it's simply a poster. It's got the artist name Paul Goble, Goble. And it is a Native American design with the horses in a stream and on the riverbank. These were purchased as if these were purchased and never used. The problem with them, the plastic has been torn. The problem with them is if you've ever watched any of George's videos from the Antique Nomad, he talks about this a lot. Art should never be stored or framed with cardboard, and this was. Now, it was probably packaged in cardboard in 1977, and they probably didn't anticipate the person would keep it in there forever. But so these are, both of them are starting to yellow a little bit, and getting a little bit of almost the lines of the corrugation of the cardboard are starting to transfer onto the print. So when I ship these, I will roll them into a tube. If you want me to keep them on the cardboard, I can. I think it'll be cheaper to roll them in a tube. But they're a very high quality paper, but I think they're like the high quality paper from the 70s. Like it's still just a poster. This isn't anything special. But I'm selling that for $6 for the poster, and it's number 51. Forgot to put the post-it note on that one. So number 51 for this poster. I do have another one that is from the same artist. I separated them though because this one is landscape and the other one is a portrait design. So I don't even know how you would why you would hang them together. But if you get this one, I'll give you first dibs on the second one at the same price if you want me to send them both. And if you're the underbidder and you want to still get it, go ahead and send me your information. This goes for all of you. If you're an underbidder, if you wanted something and you missed out, somebody got it faster than you, go ahead and send me your email anyway, because if that person isn't able to complete their order, it's like the Miss America contest. If they're unable to fulfill their duties, you will get it. But I can only contact you if I have your contact information. So send me an email. All right, I have my timer go off, which means we're going at 8 o'clock. So we are going to close up the regular sale. I appreciate everyone joining me. I'm going to open Trustee's bargain bin, so you don't necessarily have to go anywhere, but just want to make sure before we carry through, if anybody has any questions, Amelia has pushed up the email. THMvintage@gmail.com is the email to send me if you claim something. And I encourage you, if you wanted something but you missed out, go ahead and send me your email anyway. Because then in case that person can't get it, I can go to the next person on the list. And as long as I have your contact information, I'll just let you know, hey, I have this. Would you be interested in it? So definitely encourage you to do that. Again, all the prices were plus shipping. I will try and combine everything as quickly as possible. It's going to take me usually into the weekend to really get everything. But if you can get me those emails right off the bat, it helps me respond faster to you so I can get you the invoice and then you can go ahead and pay. You know what, before I get to the bargain bin, I'm going to throw one more because this is one more item that I have two of, and I'm getting concerned as I keep shuffling them that they're going to get broken. So this is one last thing before the bargain bin. This is a set of glassware. It is beer glasses. I think, are these Pilsners? The ones that have the straight sides up the side? They're sports themed. So we've got the basketball, the golf ball, the football, and the baseball. These are in absolutely pristine condition. These are could be cleaned, but they are gift-giving level condition. These would have been at something like a Pier 1. It's something like they're a really good weight. They're a really nice looking piece, and all of the sports themes are really solid on the bottom. These are just really nice. I have two complete sets. So what I'm selling is a set of 4 for $10. So if you want a set of 4 for $10, you can claim that. If you want both of them, say that you want both of them and you'll get both. If you only want the one, just give me the number, and then the next person to claim will then get the next set. So again, the sports themed glasses, $10, number 16. So number 16 for the 4 sports themed glasses. All right. Now we are going to open Trustee's bargain bin. Oh, Michael Todd's here. Hey, Michael. Thanks again for doing the calendars. All right, we're sliding the bin into view so I can reach it. All right. You can't quite see it, but it's right next to me. So I've got the bins. And it looks like 4 lilacs got 16. Was that the glasses? Mm-hmm. All right. So if you wanted both sets, let us know. If anybody else wants the other set, go ahead and claim for 16. You get the second set of 4 glasses. Okay. So again, some of this stuff will be for the first time, and this is going to go a little bit faster. Some of this is for the first time. Some of this is stuff you might have seen at an earlier sale, but I've got a lot of new people. But I'm also, anything that's coming up for the second time, I'm selling it cheaper than I did the first time. So first item out of the bin is the Hull drip glaze coffee mug. I think I had this on my first sale. I was listing it for $3 or $4. It's in absolutely perfect condition. It's got the single finger hole on it. It's in absolutely perfect condition. It is marked Hull on the bottom. It is now $2 as part of Trustee's bargain bin, $2, number 204. So it's your number 204, $2 gets you the drip glaze mug. These you've not seen before. This is part, I have a very, AJ's Retro Adventures picks up the coffee mug. Thank you so much. This is a set of salt and pepper shakers that I had picked up fairly early on because I think I mentioned this on an earlier sale. I thought salt and pepper shakers were going to be, my saving grace. Like this would be a great side gig, just selling salt and pepper shakers. Well, there's not a huge market for salt and pepper shakers. And what does sell are the really interesting figural ones, like the decorative ones. So I paid more than $2 for these, but there's just not that much of a market. They're super sweet. They're white. I don't know how that's coming across. They are white. They have a gold trim at the top. They've got the painted floral decoration, kind of the little wreath decoration that's really just one-sided, but it starts to wrap onto the sides. They both happen to still have their Japan foil sticker, and they both happen to still have their stoppers, but they're plastic. So I don't know if those are original. I don't know if the Japan ones had the plastic stopper. So this might be replacements. These are totally functional. Like these would be for daily use. They're $2. So $2 for the little floral salt and pepper shakers, $2.12. $2.12 for the white floral salt and pepper shakers, $2. This is something that sold in the last sale. And so I'm bringing him back. I am keeping it at the same price because it did sell, but then that individual canceled their order. I won't say anything more than that. So it's back. This happened to be somebody who was an underbidder, but I did not have the contact information for, so I had nobody else to offer it to. So this is the Metlocks Rooster. It's the provincial pattern. It's the rimmed cereal bowl, absolutely perfect condition, stamped on the back with the Metlocks Poppy Trail logo. $2 for the Metlocks bowl, number 202. So 202 for the Metlocks Provincial Cereal Bowl, $2. This you saw a family member in a previous sale. This is a pair of Miterteich German porcelain plates. It's kind of maybe a little big for the bread and butter plates, maybe it's the luncheon or salad plate. There were two loose saucers that got sold as part of a mixed lot of saucers in a previous sale that actually matched these. I forgot that I had these. So I'm throwing these in. It's the pair of these is $2. They're stamped, the Miterteich stamp in the back. 2 plates, $2 for number 249. So 249 for $2, you get the pair of salad plates with the burgundy and gray design. Another item that is resurrected from an earlier sale. I think the first time I had him at like $3 or $4. It's the Oreo milkshake container. It is not stamped in any way, but it has the Oreo logo plus the recipe of how to make the milkshake. Admittedly, there was a little bit of crazing. I don't know if you're able to see it you can kind of see it there on the screen. So it's definitely got some age. I have no idea how old it is, but other than the crazing, it's in perfect condition. There's no chips, there's no cracks. It's in really nice shape. It just didn't sell for the $3 or $4 that I had it for before. So I'm going to sell it for $2 as number 245. So $2 for the Oreo milkshake recipe, 245.
We've actually had another request from the piano ledge. If you wouldn't mind breaking out of the bargain bin, the patriotic glasses.
Oh, sure. All right. So we're reversing from the bargain bin back to the full price bin. So this is a set of glassware that I originally did purchase to go on stage and then discovered there was no way they were going to survive the show. I saw what they were doing to everything else, and these were never going to make it. And I decided that these were too, they're not expensive, but they were too valuable to basically screw them up. So you got Memorial Day coming up. You've got the eagle themed red, white, and blue pattern glasses. You've got the blue is in really good shape. There's really no messes. They're not, I don't mean to disparage them. They're not necessarily the highest quality. You can see like there's places where either the gold has flaked off at the very top of that ribbon, or maybe it just was never covered all the way. Like maybe the gold wasn't lined up, which is actually what I think it was, because you can see the gold goes really far down, but doesn't go very far up. So I don't know. The white has a little bit more where there's a couple places of gold loss at the very top. And there was a one spot you can see on the wing. There's a little bit of a gold loss. And the red was in really good condition. And you can see the gold is a little bit different on this one. It doesn't go into the color. There's a little separation. But there's a couple places where the gold has flaked. I mean, these are probably bicentennial, 1976 era. So it's a set of the 3 glasses, the red, white, and blue glasses. All 3 of them you get for $8 by giving number 18. So 18 is for $8. You get the 3 red, white, and blue glasses. Thank you for asking for a custom request. I'm more than happy to support that. Another item that came out of was in a previous sale. I originally had sold them as a lot and they did not sell. So I'm now separating them up and making them slightly less per item, and hopefully they'll sell individually. So this was another jewelry lot. This was the little gold tone pin that was like the eyeglass holder. It's got the locking clasp on there. So it's, it's not particularly old. It doesn't have the old C clasp on it, but it's just a really quaint ribbon with the solid piece on the bottom that I think is what you would use to slide your eyeglass into it. So that bow eyeglass pin is number 248. And then the next one is another gold tone pin. This one's the full circle. So it's just, I think this is just a decorative. It came from my mother to my daughter from my mother's collection. I think this looks kind of 80s, but by the 80s, I don't think my mother was into gold. She actually never wore gold. My mother only wore platinum and white gold. She always claimed that yellow gold affected her skin or something. These are not gold. These are gold tones. So again, I don't know where these came from. This one is full circle, $2.10, $2 for the individual little pin, $2 for the solid circle. And the one that I actually thought was pretty nice, I'm still selling it for $2, but the one that I thought was kind of pretty was this open work gold tone piece with the fake pearl that's been glued into the prongs. And we covered that in the last time, but it also has the locking clasp on it. So it's not a particularly old clasp, but it's a nice looking piece. And that again is $2 and it's number 231 for the little faux pearl pin. All right, this one you have not seen before. I tried to mix it up because I did not want people to think, oh God, he's just cycling through all of his old stuff. This is a piece that I just never sold on Etsy because it was a lone dinner plate. And there's not a huge market on Etsy for dinner plates. I'd always looked to see if I could find another part of the pattern, but I just never did. So I'm just going to sell this one individually. I probably have about $2 into it. So I'm really just trying to, resell it. It's from the ballerina China pattern. It comes up quite a bit. I actually have another piece here that I'll save for another sale, but I've got another piece of ballerina that I'm selling as a small set. This one's the pink roses. There's quite a bit of crazing on this. So hopefully you can kind of see that. This, I would say there's enough crazing on it that this is probably has become a decorative piece. I don't think you would want to use that because any sort of liquid, I think, would make that crazing super bad. And trying to wash it could become a problem. So that is why it never ended up on Etsy, but it's a beautiful piece. And if you put this, in a cabinet plate or put this somewhere, in a bedroom or a bathroom, it's just a really nice place. You can even use it as an underplate for, your Kleenex or whatever. It's just a nice piece, but there's not a huge value to it. So I'm selling it for $2. So you can get the ballerina dinner plate number 232. So 232 for the ballerina dinner plate. All right, another piece. This was part of the sale that got canceled. So I'm resurrecting the Mr. and Mrs. T drinking glass. This has the recipe for the perfect Bloody Mary on the back. Plenty of ice, 1 celery stick, 1.5 ounces of your favorite vodka. Hey, there you go, Vinny. 6 ounces of premium blend, Mr. and Mrs. T, stir and enjoy. So this was sold for $2 the last time and it was purchased, but the person ended up canceling their order. So this for the Mr. and Mrs. T drinking glass, $2, number 238. $2 for number 238. Another item you've never seen because I just took it out of my kitchen. This had been my spoon rest. So welcome to my life. So this is not particularly vintage. It is MSE is the brand, microwave and dishwash safe, China. So it is marked. It's in very good condition. It is very dishwasher friendly because we used to wash it all the time. I just now have a little stainless steel one that I don't need, the white one. So I'm getting rid of it. So perfect addition to Trustee's bargain bin because it's $2 and you can get it as number 217. 217 for the little, I say it's a spoon rest, but it could be a jewelry tray, pin dish. I mean, whatever. It's just always been my spoon rest for like the past 10 years. So that's that. This was another piece that was in a previous sale, but it did not sell at its original price. I think I had it at $5 because there's damage. And, you know, maybe $5 was a little bit cavalier trying to get that much. So I knocked it into the bargain bin. It is a super sweet wooden dish. It's a very shallow, you know, wooden bowl, wooden plate. Unfortunately, it does have some of the discoloration in the wood, but it still has the remnants of that super cute, folky, pink folk art painting in the middle. It is stamped with a German manufacturer stamp on the back, and then the red label is the German shop that initially sold it. So there's some age to it, but it's this is one of those pieces that it has condition issues. I probably shouldn't have bought it. I definitely have more than $2 into this, but I'm selling it for $2, and it's number 218. So the little German wooden bowl is 218 for $2. A piece you have not seen. Again, goes into the random dinner plate. I'm not even sure where or how or why I bought this, but it is a very traditional Currier and Ives pattern. This is the old grist mill by Royal, made in the USA. So it's an American China manufacturer. This is in actually pretty good shape. There's really no crazing to speak of. There are definitely no chips, no cracks. There's no issues to it. So this could be used as a functional dinner plate. Probably more of a decorative piece, but regardless, that pattern is very popular. Just the whole idea of Currier and Ives. And if you've got that style or that coloration, it's a really nice looking piece that, again, this is really weird, random standalone item that I really don't have a place for on Etsy. So I'm selling it in Trustee's bargain bin for $2, and it is number 209. So 209 for the Currier and Ives dinner plate. Another item that was in the previous sale at a higher price. This is the mother-in-law poem. I also tried to sell this in the Facebook sale last night. I think I tried to sell it for $4. It did not sell. So it's in Trustee's bargain bin. So this, for those who were not at the previous sale, this is a thank you, which is designed to be sent to a mother-in-law. The day that your son married me and we walked down the aisle, there's things I do not understand, nor would for quite a while. The man I grew to love so much was once your baby knew, and many things that he's become, he's gained from life with you. A mother's love can shape a life with tenderness and grace until one day she sees her son another to embrace. And so I wanted you to know with gratefulness anew, I'm thankful that my husband had a mother just like you. And it's got the author's name is Ann Peterson, Peterson. And then a little sketch, which is signed by Ann Peterson. And it's still in the original sleeve that it was sold in, which also happens coincidentally to be by Ann Peterson. So, you know, most likely something at an arts and crafts fair, something like that. It's really nicely matted, and the mat has a really cool embossing. But you can see it's a double mat. So you've got that kind of the Wedgwood blue in the inner mat, and then you've got that really pretty floral embossment on the outer mat. It's matted front and back. So it's a really nice piece. It's $2 and it's number 208. So $2 for the mother-in-law frame, or mother-in-law matted piece, not frame, it's matted in the original sleeve, 208. All right. This is another piece that was in a previous sale that I'm now selling for less. Originally, this was, even at the time I was trying to sell it, I mentioned it was kind of a marriage. And I didn't know if they really belonged together. And it turns out no one thought they belonged together, so nobody bought them. So I'm now separating them out. And so you get the individual pieces a little bit cheaper. So this is, as I said, I have a penchant for aluminum. This is another hammered aluminum serving piece. This does not have the Pyrex bowl in the middle, but but it has the little piece that sits on top. Admittedly, the lid, like it just kind of sits there. It's not like super, it doesn't really have much of a ledge. So I don't know if that means there's supposed to be a bowl in there, which would have kept this from moving around. That's entirely possible. But what you get is the 2-piece bowl. So it's a 2-piece hammered aluminum bowl with a little floral design on the top with the little floral shaped finial. $2 for number 233. So the aluminum dish, 233, $2. All right. I'd mentioned before that one of the things that I was trying to do is like sweeten the deal a little bit. I already had the library book, literally called The Library Book, was already in Trustee's bargain bin for $2, didn't sell. So you get a magazine to go along with it. I didn't have another book to add to it, so you get a magazine. So it is, what's special about the magazine is it is called Trend and Tradition. It's the magazine of Colonial Williamsburg. So you only get this if you're a supporter of Colonial Williamsburg, which, even though we no longer live on the East Coast, we've continued to support ever since we did live on the East Coast. So Williamsburg is a very important part of this family. This happens to be a magazine. I'm done finishing. So I kind of feel weird that I'm giving you basically my stuff, but it would have gone to Goodwill instead. I'll try and sweeten the deal. I still think the book by itself is worth $2, but now you get the book and the magazine for $2. And so you get the book and the magazine for $2 for number 240, 240 for the book and the magazine, $2. Okay, this is an item you've never seen before and probably may not even know what it is. So this was something that I became somewhat obsessed with and did not have a lot of success trying to build a collection. So I literally abandoned it. This is, actually, I'm going to ask you guys, what is this? It would sit flat.
Nathaniel called it.
And Nathaniel gets it right. It is a knife rest. So if you want to be, if you wanted to live the Downton Abbey lifestyle, you too can have a white metal knife rest. It's not silver plate. It's not marked in any way. I don't think. No, it looks like there might be a couple scratches, but there's not. It's just metal in this little X design. And I'm selling them for $2. I'm sure I paid more than $2 for him, but at this point, it's very hard to sell things like this on Etsy when there's no maker's mark or any real reason for someone to buy it. So it's a little knife rest or whatever you want to turn it into, your curling iron rest. It's $2, number 219. $2 for number 219 for the knife rest. This one I got a little bit lost on, and I can't remember how I offered this before. So I'm offering it by itself again. It might have been in bargain bin, but I can't remember. So if it was, I forgive me, but I'm sorry, it's worth $2. So if it was in the bargain bin and nobody bought it, well, shame on you. So here's the opportunity to pick this up again. Admittedly, I do not believe these roly-poly glasses are designed to go in it. I think I said it the last time I saw a picture or photograph online where it was still the roly-poly shape, but it was a creamer and a sugar, which to me makes a lot more sense because a drink carrier that only holds 2 drinks doesn't seem particularly useful to me. So anyway, the roly-poly glasses themselves are worth $2, but then you get this little cradle to go with it. So if you have something like maybe a creamer or sugar or some other purpose for this, a cruet set, again, the cradle would be worth $2 by itself. So you get the pair, all 3 of these pieces, you get it for $2, and it's number 242. 242 for the roly-poly glasses and the drinks carrier or creamer sugar carrier, whatever it is. Again, this is the other half from the piece that I'd split apart. This is the cradle that originally was part of that aluminum dish. The aluminum dish does fit in here. It has a different finish, so I don't think it's designed together. So maybe it'll be more likely to sell because this would look great. And trust me, we've done it. I put a Fiesta bowl in this. It looked wonderful. You put a piece of Pyrex in here. It looks wonderful. It is a very nice serving piece for some sort of a baking ware that fits in it. It is, I had the measurement, but it must have fallen off. The circle is just under 9 inches. So, it's a pretty decent size. I think could hold a pretty decent number of Pyrex pieces or serving bowls. So for $2, you get this chrome cradle serving holder, 228. $2 for the little cradle holder, 228. All right, these were in Trustee's bargain bin individually, so I've put them together to sweeten the deal. So this time we're back into the alcohol collection. You get this little cordial glass, which has the shamrock pattern in it. So there was debate of what this kind of glass was used for. It was determined it was a cordial glass, but it feels like this should be something very specific for maybe like a Jameson or something because of those shamrocks. There seems to be a reason those shamrocks would be there. That used to be in the bin by itself. This also used to be in the bin by itself. It's the Hard Rock Cafe, or I'm sorry, it's the Hard Rock Hotel double shot glass. So it's a tall shot glass with the Chicago skyline on it. So it's got the Chicago Theater sign. It's got some of the stores, the Hard Rock Hotel logo and building, and thought it had Wrigley Field on it. No, it's got a music, the Hard Rock, the band, the drum set and music from the Hard Rock. So this used to be in the bin by itself. This was by itself. You now get the two of them together, so they're $1 a piece. Total of $2 for the two items. Number 223. $2 for 2 drinking glasses, 223. All right, similarly, these Bailey's drinks glasses, the yours and mine, these had been in the bargain bin by themselves for $2. Okay, Laura, you're gonna do a shot in my honor because she gets the 2 shot glasses. So you've got the Bailey's yours and mine drink mug cups, and then I'd also had this little what probably would end up being used as a shot glass, but it has a little bit of damage to it. So I don't think you'd be able to use it for liquid. So maybe it's for cocktail stirrers or for toothpicks or whatever. But it's what did we figure out? It was Alpha Kappa Psi, I think is the either fraternity or sorority. It's actually in the Greek alphabet. So I know it's Alpha. I'm not, maybe it's Gamma. I'm not sure what those are. So anyway, but it's the Pink Rose Formal from 1951. So it's this really cool glass. It didn't sell for $2 by itself. These didn't sell for $2 by themselves. So we're going to throw them all together. So you get the 2 Bailey's glasses plus the Pink Rose Formal little toothpick holder for $2 total for 221. So 221 for 3 pieces, the Bailey's drinks and the Pink Rose Formal 1951. This is another case where these were in the bargain bin individually, and now I'm going to combine them. So we've got the Pottery Barn plates. These were the Apple Teeny and the Lemon Drop. Thank you, Lesta, for picking up 221. And Lesta, I don't think you've bought from me before, so make sure you send me your email address so we make.
Bought something earlier tonight.
Oh, fantastic! But before this week, before tonight's show, so just make sure you send us an email. So congratulations, Lesta. These used to also both be in Trustee's bargain bin as individuals. So this was $2 and this was $2. I'm now combining them together. You get the 2 Pottery Barn. They are marked Pottery Barn from their Martini line. You get both of these plates for $2 plus shipping. $2 for number 225. 225, $2 for the Lemon Drop and the Apple Teeny snack plates. And I'll just throw a little tip on there that Facebook last night was selling these, which they weren't supposed to do because we were told we couldn't have anything alcohol related. So I didn't list mine. She was listing these for $6 a piece. So, you know, they're $1 now. So I win. Actually, you win if you pick them up. So $2 for two snack plates, 225. And the last item in Trustee's bargain bin, I need to sell this. This was part of the regular sale, and it did not sell. It is a paper party supply tablecloth. And the longer they don't sell, the more likely they're going to get a little creased. And there's another crease that just came into it because of sitting in the bin. So I apologize. So we're trying to get rid of him. He's $2. It is fairly large. It is 70 by 54. And it's got the little runner has Mickey and Minnie on it. And that runs the length of the the length of the entire tablecloth. In the middle is just this off-white color. So it's just kind of solid down the center. So the design is just these two borders which run along the edges. So it used to be in the sale. I want to say he was $4 or $5 the last time he was in the sale. He is now $2 for the Mickey and Minnie tablecloth. It weighs practically nothing. It's for $239. So $239 for the Mickey and Minnie paper tablecloth, Party Supply Goods. And that empties Trustee's bargain bin. So congratulations to all the people who were able to secure an item this evening. I do appreciate your support and appreciate you joining the sale. Again, so my name is Patrick with Trusty Huckster Mercantile. Whether you've bought from me before or not, I would appreciate you sending me an email. Amelia is very diligent in making sure we're keeping track of what everyone bought. But if you send me an email and if you happen to mention what you think you bought, that helps us out too. Send an email to thmvintage@gmail.com. That's Trusty Huckster Mercantile, thmvintage@gmail.com. If you can do that within the next day or so, I would appreciate it. It may take me a day or two to be able, what I have to do is then I'll package up your items, figure out what size box it needs to be in, how much it'll weigh once all the packing materials, and I will send you an invoice. I then ask that you pay that invoice within 48 hours. I'm not going to chase you down or whatever, but do keep in mind, particularly for some of the items, I wasn't really following the chat, but I could see a couple things got really popular. If you got it, it means somebody else did not. So if you have some issues or whatever, if you can't fulfill your order, please let us know. I will try and go to the next person. But the expectation is, give us your email and we'll send you the invoice. I hope you like the prices and we'll try and do the best we can. We'll combine everything to give you good rates. Keep in mind, there are other sales coming up. So we've got, again, Michael Todd, thank you so much for creating the list. Unfortunately, I didn't have the foresight to grab this week's list. This happens to be for next week. So as a reminder, tomorrow night is Jeffrey from Real Nifty Vintage. His sale is at 7 o'clock Friday night on his YouTube channel, Real Nifty Vintage. During the day will be Stephanie at Thrifting Adventures. I think she's focusing on jewelry tomorrow. And if I remember correctly, Stephanie, it was 2 p.m. Pacific, I think was your time. And so that's 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern. So that's going to be that'll be done an hour or two before Jeffrey starts. I don't think we've got anything scheduled Vinny, Vintage Vinny has his scheduled for Saturday at 5 Eastern. So he will have a live sale. On Sunday, Reclaimed Treasures by Mary is having her sale at 4 p.m. Eastern. And I'll throw in a plug. It is not on the sale list because technically it's not a sale, but mark your calendars for Sunday as well will be my live interview with Katie from Vintage and Vinyl, where we will be doing a Trustee's vintage deep dive into her collection of typewriter ribbon tins. And the following week will be a deep dive into Vintage Vinny's Coca-Cola collection.
What time on Sunday?
It'll be 7 o'clock on Sunday. Thank you for asking. Clarification. It'll be the same time as this show at 7 o'clock Central, 8 Eastern. And then on Monday is the big 4-seller sale. So you're going to have me, maybe sick of me, but you're going to have me, you're going to have Vinny from Vintage Vinny, you're going to have George from the Antiques Nomad, and you're going to have Misty from Thrifter, Junker, Vintage Hunter. Oh, I got it right 3 times in one night. So all 4 of us will be on that same sale. That'll also be at 7 o'clock Central. It'll be a StreamYard just like this one. That's why I was testing StreamYard. So I thank all of you for your patience as we worked through it. But it seemed, knock wood, it seemed to work pretty well. We'll be using StreamYard for that, and we'll be doing a round robin style. So I'll sell something, then Misty will sell something, then Vinny. So we're going to go through and we're going to try and cover as many things as we can in 2 hours, and then watch the calendar for everything else. I'll post many of these links in the comments here, but you can follow me on my social media on Instagram and Facebook at THMercantile, Trusty Huckster Mercantile, THMercantile. You'll find a lot of these things. And don't forget to look for the new Facebook page, Vintage Live YouTube. It's all one word. That's how you'll find it. Facebook.com/Vintage Live YouTube. That's where a lot of these calendars will be stored as well. And you can set up yourself with reminders and all of that fun stuff. So thank you so much for joining me. I rambled 1 minute past what I planned to, but thank you for giving me 90 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you got something, you're excited to get it. And if you missed out, join one of the other sales. You never know if you always run a chance. everyone's going to grab something if they want to. And in the meantime, check out all the other sales and check out all of our shops. I don't really have much other than the Etsy, but a lot of people are on eBay. You can find us all. Just search all of our social medias. We really do appreciate the support and hope we're all getting through this quarantine together. So thanks again. Good night. This is Patrick, Trusty Huckster Mercantile, and my daughter Amelia saying good night. Bye-bye.